The Four Agreements. This is a small and profound book written by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's published in 1997. The book has sold millions of copies worldwide, and it's been translated into 46 different languages. It's a highly recommended book for navigating life in general. This is the third video in a series exploring all four agreements through the lens of grief. I really hope that my humble use and exploration of this book will help you to navigate your own grief or how to support somebody with their grief. Today we're going to look at the wisdom it holds in the third agreement in regards to grief. The third agreement speaks about don't make assumptions. My name is Jo McRogers, and I'm a therapist who specializes in grief. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so that you'll know every time I post with the intention to do grief differently. Watch today to learn about how the Four Agreements teaches us a way to do grief differently. In respect to not making assumptions, the author Don Miguel Ruiz writes, in quotes, "In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think and we don't have to say what we want. They are going to do what we want or need because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, what we assume they should do, we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know." Again, we make the assumption that the other person knows what we want. A little drama is created because we then make this assumption and then put more assumptions on top of it. It is interesting how the human mind works. We have the need to justify everything, to explain everything, and to understand everything in order to feel safe. End of quote. At the heart of the third agreement is the concept of safety. We all seek safety. This is especially true when we are grieving or supporting a griever. We have the choice to seek what feels safe through either assumptions or through clarity. Assumptions, however, are often false and often harmful. So when that happens, we then need more assumptions to reinforce our sense of safety. It's a trap. So, applying the third agreement to the griever. Grievers will often think and feel, they haven't checked on me in days or weeks. The first assumption that they make is, they should know me well enough to know that I would need this. The second assumption that we then make is, they mustn't care enough about me. These two assumptions then apply further hurt upon an already grieving heart. Grief can upend our ability to be rational, and assumptions are just big, juicy temptations in that state. Please put a heart in the comments below if you have been tempted to these assumptions when you have been grieving. So, how to do grief differently? Use the four agreements. First agreement speaks about being impeccable with your words. Tell them that you feel loved and supported when they regularly check in on you. The second agreement talks about not taking things personally, so please don't take their lack of action personally. Create space to recognize that they are acting from the agreements that they have made with themselves. The third agreement now talks about checking your assumptions. So check your assumptions through curiosity and truth-seeking. Can you imagine saying, when I don't hear from you, I wonder if you don't care how I am. Is this accurate? Grief is such an emotionally charged state. It is an invitation to chaos. So please use the third agreement to seek safety through clarity. Seek safety in your grief using these first three agreements to bring yourself first integrity through your words, space with not taking things personally, and clarity through checking assumptions. Next, how to use the third agreement while supporting a griever. Because grief is so hard to be with, as a supporter, we also seek safety in our own assumptions. Supporters of grievers say things like, I'm giving them space, they'll reach out when they are ready. I don't know how to support, and they will know best. I've not heard back from them, so they mustn't want my help. They're pregnant again, so they must have moved on. They're now dating, so they must have gotten over their loss. They've gone back to work, so they must be okay. Often these assumptions are us seeking safety from our own discomfort with their pain. We've all done this. I've done this. It's a natural byproduct of grief. However, please check out these assumptions with curiosity and create openings for real connection and authentic dialogue. How are you feeling about returning to work while you're mourning? Does it feel good to know that I'm thinking of you daily or weekly, and how can I show you that? Is it tough to be pregnant and mourn all at the same time? What concerns you most about returning to work? The author Ruiz states, and again I quote, "Have the courage to ask questions until you are as clear as can be. And even then, do not assume that you know all that there is to know about a given situation." End quote. Ask questions that match and reflect the level of intimacy of your relationship, and demonstrate a willingness to go there, with them into the uncomfortable yuck of their grief. Then respect and honor if they choose to enter into that space with you or not. Can you share in the comments below a question that you wish you had asked? And was it fear that kept you from asking that question? Most of the individuals that I support in my therapy practice tell me that they welcome the opportunity to have real and honest dialogue about both their loss and their grief. Please don't feel that you need to be a therapist or a counselor to them. A strong response after they've shared their emotions can always be, "Oh, that's a lot to carry on your shoulders or in your heart. Have you thought about speaking to a professional for some support?" That might be all they need to hear. The third agreement really does ask us to step out of a safe comfort zone, the safe comfort zone of our created assumptions. So as you do this scary but very important work with grief, I offer to you kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. If you are finding value in this series, please like it with a thumbs up below and share it so that YouTube knows to make it widely available to grievers. And I'll see you next time when we explore the fourth agreement that speaks about always doing your best. I'll link to the other previous videos at the end. Thank you and take care.